Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, dependent, of course, on when and where, should I say, you are joining us from. This is a day in the life of an SDR leader, brought to you by SDR Leaders of EMEA. In this podcast, we're going to be speaking to various SDR leaders about their roles, how they get the best out of their teams, their tech stack, and any trends that they might be seeing that will influence any of the prior. Now, today we are joined by Tom Salley, Sales Development Manager at Pexapark and SDR Leaders of EMEA Ambassador. Tom, thank you very much for joining me. Did you want to introduce yourself and share a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Jordan. And thank you for inviting me as well. And thanks to the SDR Leaders of EMEA, actually, and David. Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually an SDR leader. Of course, right now I'm as an SDR manager for Pexapark, which is a market data insight platform in the energy sector. But yeah, to talk to a bit more about myself, I'm French, as you can understand from my accent, but I actually live in Greece. So I studied in France mechanical engineering. I worked in nuclear power plants for about 3 years, and then I worked in wind turbines in operation and maintenance, and that happened in Greece, and that's when I actually met my wife. Now I have also 2 kids now, and well, when I moved to Greece, I had to figure out what to do because there was not a lot to do as a mechanical engineer in Greece. Not a lot of opportunities, and I've been always interested into sales, business development. So actually that was perfect time. I worked for 2 startups in Greece before Pexapark. And yeah, now I'm here, 3 years and a half, 2 years as an SDR manager for Pexapark.
Fantastic. That sort of really cutting your teeth with roles at startups, it teaches you so much, is what I hear.
Yeah, I mean, especially my first experience was in expert network called Dialectica. This expert network, I have to say, as an associate there, it was lots of calls. Basically, you're trying to get people into meetings so that they can give insights to some advisory firm, equity firm, and any kind of big companies that are investing on the markets. And very challenging job, but it's really gave me the tool now that I'm using to figure out how to handle some great conversation with people on the phone and through emails.
That's brilliant. And in terms of the sort of transition, moving from an individual contributor to a people leader, are you able to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah. It kind of happened naturally at Pexapark because I was a founding SDR at Pexapark. Actually, when I joined, it was really to try out, like, does it make sense to have an SDR at Pexapark? So obviously it did because now I'm managing 4 people, 4 SDRs. And really it was just, I was hitting quotas. I was also doing extra things that are out of on the job description. I guess if you want to progress into a management role, you have to also prove that you can bring other things to the table. So yeah, I would advise anyone to just carry on some creative ideas that you have, or if you want to help your manager on something, or other departments on anything really, for your own experience, and also if you want to grow in a management role. Another thing though, through this transition that was amazing to me is the training and the learning opportunities that I had. I was offered by Pexapark to follow a bootcamp that was the one that is Chris Ritson, and Lawrence Langstone. They are doing an amazing bootcamp for SDR manager. I was actually part of the first batch. And it really gave me all the tools, like a lot of templates, insights, and also I get to know the other guys on the bootcamp. So we start talking together about what we are doing, and it was so useful. So yeah, for anyone transitioning to a management role, I wouldn't recommend more to just ask your company for some budget and get into some additional training.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It brought to mind saying that I can't remember who it was that told me it, but it was in relation to getting that promotion. It was always assume the next role. Think about, of course, absolutely nail your current role, but think about what can I be doing that will prepare me for that next step, that will make that transition really smooth. And it's so fantastic. And then as well, leveraging your network, both internal and external, to give that really holistic view and understanding of, what you can do in that next role. So that's awesome. Were there any pieces of advice, that were given throughout that transition into leadership that have really stuck with you?
I guess nothing really specific. What I can talk about though is what I learned through this path, and probably like mistakes that I wouldn't do again. For example, there is something pretty funny that I did that was a mistake, but I'm happy that I did it now. So I follow, the training, the bootcamp. I exchange with a lot of people, other SDR manager, and basically on how to report to my manager. Because for me, that was kind of one of the most important new thing that I would have to do. It's basically, before I was just, hey, this is the amount of meetings I'm booking. This is the amount of revenue I brought. But now I have to say, okay, this is what my team brought, how we did it, what is not working, what is working. And I didn't have this. So I had to build a dashboard. I had to build a way to report. Although the people I had to report to really didn't have very much in-depth, let's say, experience into managing an SDR team and being in sales development. They would be more into a configuration of managing account executives directly that will bring business in. So what I did is that I spent a lot of time to kind of build the perfect dashboard that I had in mind. Big mistake, because I didn't ask what my manager was needed. What do you need? I didn't ask this simple question. And generally, I think that's something we should do at any point in our career, is just go to your manager. We have so many one-to-one, so many meetings. Just ask, okay, how can I, help you out in your role right now? How can I be useful to you? Where should I focus on to make your job easier, basically? And well, that first time when I built this beautiful dashboard, that was like probably the best dashboard that an SDR manager would dream about. I presented to exec team and my manager as well. And they were like, okay, but we don't need that much data. We don't need this, we don't need that. Actually, we need these 4 KPI, and we can't figure them out from all this data you gave out right now. So please, can you just synthesize and build something with these 4 KPIs that we need on a weekly basis? Yeah, so that was a big learning for sure.
Yeah, I completely understand that. I have a tendency to go overboard with the data, because for me, I find it really interesting, and because I understand it makes sense in my mind. But from that high level view, as you said, it's overkill. It's all about trying to make it as digestible as possible, so you can, within one look, understand it.
Yeah, and actually you have to think about, okay, what my manager needs. I mean, what do I have to report? And also, what do I need then to coach and manage my team? Because this is very different. Okay, this dashboard, then I used it, a part of it to actually coach my team, my team members. But it's very different from what you have to present to your management.
Yeah, fantastic. And on that coaching piece, do you have any go-to resources in terms of coaching and developing your team, whether that be books? I would imagine that you'd encourage anything produced by Chris Ritson, great stuff you put out. Or
Yes. Actually, so first of all, it's not really coaching, but I'm not talking one-to-one, but weekly we have a team training, so on weekly basis. And generally, this training starts with a LinkedIn post that I saw. So a LinkedIn post from Eric, maybe from you, Jordan, maybe from Andy Lowe's or Chris. Or they always have, sometimes all these LinkedIn posts look all the same, right? But sometimes it raises, some questions we may have, and we need some answer and some, small tricks, tips that just break the ice for this training so that we can work on. Then what I do is, of course, I have one-to-ones with my team members, and I really try to focus on where can I help you, like just straight away. I'm not too much going into the numbers really. I want my team to figure out on their own what are the numbers that they need to do to achieve their quotas. So I give them the tool to do it, but I don't want to micromanage. I hate micromanagement. For me and for others, this is really not something that I support. And working remotely as well, because all my team, we all work remote. I really put as, let's say, culture that everybody has kind of work as their own company and they have to be accountable. So I see all my team members as like entrepreneurs. And that's why I want them to try different things, to be creative. And as soon as they hit their quotas, I want them to be as free as possible in the way that they are doing things. Even though I have standards that I can bring to them, I have answers that I can bring to them. Like, okay, if you make this amount of calls, this amount of emails, you will make your quota. But if you want to try something else, something that makes you happier, just do it. Because, we are not robots. And I don't want my teams to be seen as, robots. This is what I hate the most, and what I lived in the past, in some of my positions in the past that I don't want to see again. Other than that, I recommend to my team to listen to Eric Leguar podcast. So the SDR Game podcast, I love it. Eric does a great job on this one. Maybe listen to Jordan's podcast now that I discovered it as well. And not too much of sales books, but I have to say I read recently 2 books that are pretty cool. There's one by Phil Knight with the creator of Nike. I think it's called Shoe Dog. Great book. If you're into sales, into entrepreneurship, very cool book. So yeah, that's a book that I would advise to read.
Fantastic. I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna add it to my basket as soon as we jump off. Because I love the film that they recently made.
And you travel in Asia as well now, so you would be interested.
Yeah,
you would be interested in this book because it speaks a lot of how to deal with Japanese into business. That's pretty fun.
That is a good point, and something that I wanted to ask you about in terms of managing remote teams. I'm guessing they're sort of dotted over Europe. So there's going to be some cultural nuances that take place. So have you got any tips for one, managing a remote team, and two, I guess it's that inclusivity, that understanding of the cultural variations that may occur?
Yeah, I think I kind of under this question before into saying that, I'm leaving the freedom of my team members to express themselves in the way they want. But for sure, you have to have big adaptability. So basically, if you're coaching a team remote, you have to be careful of not going into micromanagement, basically, because you have to trust the people in your team, right? They are not just next to you at your desk. So of course you can look at the data how many calls, how many meetings, when, people are logging in the CRM, all this kind of thing. But really what matters when you have a team working remotely is for them to be proactive. As I said, to be accountable, for them to work as if it was their own company, their own small company. Because I can't answer all the questions all the time. Of course, you can message on Slack, you can have a quick call, but it's not as easy as in an office, to be fair. So you also have to make it easy for each of the SDRs to also help each other, so that they are available to help each other. That's as well another aspect, because again, at the office, you will see your manager, and it will be very easy to catch him and have a quick chat, a quick question. But remotely, it's a bit more challenging. But I think there will be more tools for that. I think there are already. Maybe they're not as good, but I know there are already tools where you can kind of simulate if you were, on an open office, basically, and you can interact with the people around you. That's pretty fun. But yeah.
I wanted to talk about trends. Is there anything that you're seeing at the minute that is really exciting you, whether that is, tech related, whether that's a process, methodology, or just something that's taking place in the sort of macro that you think is going to sort of change the game?
Yeah, I think I will get everybody to just, turn off the video right now, or to listen to this podcast, because I will just say AI. I think we have heard so much of AI. I'm getting sick of it myself. I can't hear this word anymore, but it's the truth. Like I'm on ChatGPT every day. My reps are using ChatGPT so many times. And not only, now we also have this AI tool in our Office package from Microsoft, where you can do so many things, data related, in your CRM as well. So there are so many things that comes with AI. But as all the new things that comes in the sector, in sales, marketing, I think AI will just make our life easier. All this post about, our SDRing is over, SDR team and sales development's finished, everything will be AI, blah, blah, blah. I think it's all bullshit. It's just these buzzwords on the social media, but actually what it means is that SDRs will do even more personalization, even more, let's say, personalized messaging, LinkedIn, social media selling, social selling, maybe I should have said. And also bringing this human aspect, really. I think in everything now down the line, since this AI came in, the most crucial thing is to be yourself and to be authentic and to do what you like. If you're selling something, to really believe in this thing that you're selling, and to also have a consultative approach with the prospect that you're actually helping into doing their job better, basically, by using the tool that you're selling if you are in the SaaS sector. At Pexapark, we are acting in a very niche market, actually. So for me, AI is just here as an assistant, but it will never replace an SDR or a person, for sure. And also, I truly believe that all this emailing sequence automation, I think all of this will die. If not die, I kind of think that all this part that we are doing on the sales side, we are building up sequence and looking at open rate, all this thing. And we are doing this in conversation with marketing. But I strongly believe that sooner or later, everything will be on marketing. And probably marketing will use directly basically your name to just, send some emails, and then they will just do it for you. And I strongly believe that SDR, whatever salesperson, what you would have to do is either meet in person or meet over the phone, meet in a Teams meeting, and again, like, just be a human to human, because I don't believe that an AI, can sell something to a human. I think they will always need a human interaction.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's such a pertinent point that you're making, because it's sort of bringing to light the fact that for any business, their only true, unique and sustainable differentiator is their people.
Yeah.
And, by adding the mass, adding the volume, adding the quantity, what's actually cutting through is that human approach, that relationship that is so important and so powerful within any sales engagement. So I completely agree on that front. Final question from me, and you've sort of answered it there in the impact that AI has had and will continue to have. But how do you think the SDR landscape is going to look in, 2, 3, 5 years? And what can SDRs be doing today to ensure that, they're still able to be consistently successful?
Yeah, that's a good question. Very difficult to answer, I have to say, because in 5 years, I have no idea what will happen. But I guess if you are into sales generally, and not speaking only about SDR, I think you have to work on being more present. First of all, actually, you have, as I said before, you have to believe into what you're selling. So think about where you want to work in. Okay, so what sector, in what you believe in. For example, I sell this platform that is in the renewable energy sector. For me, it's a continuity of what I was doing as an engineer before. And yeah, it's part of this thing that, okay, I want solutions for the planet to have less CO2 emission. Okay, this is what's driving me. I think all of this is bringing, as I was saying before, this authenticity, and the way that I'm not selling to sell. I really believe in what I'm doing. So that brings this contact with the other human on the other side that I will talk with, that we are passionate about the same thing. So either you're selling an HR platform or a platform for renewable energy, I think you have to get to know more and better the sector you are in and the challenges that are facing the people in the sector you're in, and to really embrace the role of the people you are selling to, and to get in their shoes and to really think, okay, why would I need this software as well? And to figure out kind of, okay, why they will talk to me. And probably thinking of that, then you will see where some of the answer might be into social selling, to using LinkedIn. For now, it's LinkedIn, but maybe tomorrow it will be something else. But also meeting physically at conferences or other places, knocking doors at the office. Again, I think you have to work on who you want to be and what you want to do in this world. Basically, I know it's a very big question, but I can't answer by saying, hey, do more training on AI, get to learn, how this AI thing is working, or get to learn how to make the best email sequence, whatever, because I don't believe that's the answer. I don't believe becoming some kind of having some basic knowledge on AI, you will be a better salesman. If it's in your product, yeah, probably. But if really you want to sell, again, I think you have to be that person that actually people in the sector you're selling in wants to talk to you because you have the same passion.
Yeah, it's a really good point. It's that sort of mix of business acumen, a more holistic approach. So rather than just talking about your product and the benefits and things that link into your product, you can have more of a broader conversation that touches on the things that really do matter and are really going to make a difference to your prospects' lives, to their work. So it was really nicely put there, Tom. I am conscious of time and I will let you get on with your day. Thank you so much for joining, Tom. It's been a really, really insightful session. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. If anyone that's listening does want to reach out, I guess either LinkedIn or the SDR Leaders of EMEA.
Yeah, of course. And that's something I didn't mention, actually. The SDR Leaders EMEA community is an amazing tool for you to be a better manager, or if you're a new manager, it's the best place because you can ask questions. You have free masterclasses. You can speak to Dave tomorrow. You can speak to Jordan tomorrow on Slack, and ask whatever question you have in your mind, and get some replies and not getting judged or anything. All these communities, I think, as well, they would be more and more important. And again, for what we discussed before, because we are speaking between humans and we are just trying to figure out how to do things better, be better at our job, and also be stronger together in a way.
Yeah, completely agree. Tom, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And to everyone listening, until next time.
Thank you, Jordan.